Hi, everyone. It's Dawn Fisher, Morning Glory Needleworks. Welcome to FlossTube number 32. And as always, thank you to everybody who subscribed, commented, liked my channel. I'm going to go through my little intro blurb here. Anything I talk about and other things to do with me, there's links in the description below the video. On YouTube, I have links to my Etsy shop, my Instagram account, the Stitch of the Month Facebook group, the Morning Glory Needleworks Facebook group or Facebook page, Buy Me a Coffee, BioLink, which actually has all the links in one place, and a few other things I have links to. And so I have a lot to talk about, some fun stuff. I have a guest, which I'm going to bring in here in just a minute. So it's the 15th of April, and let's get going. Well, I just want to say welcome to my wonderful brother, Jim Fisher. He was kind enough to come to Florida to help me with a few needed repairs before I put my house on the market. And I plan to sell the house. I think I mentioned that before. I'm going to buy a condo, so it'll be a lot less work and upkeep for me. But Jim also has a YouTube channel. Of course, it doesn't involve needlework, but I will let him tell you about his YouTube channel and his latest adventures he's going on with his wife, Michelle.
Well, I actually have two YouTube channels. The first one I started was Vintage Insight Photography. I am or have been in the past, a professional photographer by trade. So I thought during the pandemic, I was kind of bored. And so I started creating videos for that. And a number of different things happened. And then my wife and I have decided to travel full time. So we've actually sold our house. We bought an Airstream travel trailer and a truck. And we're just about to embark on that grand adventure. And for that, I've started a second YouTube channel, which is called Airstreamer. And I have a website, airstreamer.life, where we're going to travel around the USA to various places, see a number of different things and sites, historical things and beautiful landscapes and mountain ranges and all kinds of stuff. And just continue to travel that and document that on that YouTube channel.
And we visited Fort DeSoto here in Pinellas County this afternoon and visited and drove around through there. Wonderful, wonderful campsites. Oh my God, it was fabulous down there. So, but anyway, like I said, he was wonderful. He came here, helped me fix. There was a lot of just little things, but I couldn't do them myself. And one big thing, which is fabulous. It looks really good. So, thank you, Jim, for coming.
Very welcome. That's what family is for.
Yes. And it's hard because I don't have any family close. So Jim came from Michigan to help me with this. And also, if you're interested, there'll be links to his Vintage Insight Photography YouTube. And I put a link to airstreamer.life.
Well, the YouTube channel is just at Airstreamer.
Okay.
The website is airstreamer.life.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously we're traveling in an Airstream. I think I mentioned that. Yeah. So, but as Dawn here said, don't forget to click that like and subscribe. That's very, very important. That really helps out. What happens when you click that like? It shows that people like it, and it kind of helps promote the video, and is
more
very,
people will see it.
Very, very important.
Yep. So, thank you, Jim.
You're very welcome.
I will let him go back and work on his stuff, and then I'm gonna I'll come back and talk about some exciting things I have going on here. I thought some of you may be interested in photography or watching his videos. They're kind of like FlossTube, but it's pretty interesting how he travels around, and he has some beautiful photographs and a lot of information. So anyway, and of course it's my brother, so I had to show him off. So on to the next thing. In the previous videos, I've been showing progress on my reproduction of the sampler stitch by Mary Ansell in 1822 when she was 12 years old. I'm so excited. It's finished. I finished it like at 11:30 last night. Of course, I thought I was done, and then I saw a spot where I missed a couple stitches, so I had to do that. I need to really go over and make sure I didn't miss anything, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy. The sampler is all cross stitch. The center, it's hard to see, but there is a big verse in the center. It's almost the same size as the original. This is 36 count linen. I just stitched it with DMC floss, one strand, just one strand of DMC floss all the way through. And it was a lot of fun. This section was a little challenging, the verse. It's hard to see with the, you can see it there because it is almost the same color as the background fabric. But I will show you the original, which I have right here. And I hold them up together. My reproduction is a little bit longer, but this may not have been on an even weave linen. And you can see the edges are pretty rough. I've talked about this before. On the bottom, you can see there's a piece of ribbon where she probably had this edged in ribbon. I don't know why. Somebody ripped the ribbon off the edge, but that little bit of damage and a few other little holes meant I got a really good deal on this sampler. But I just love it. It's got these cool birds, of course, Adam and Eve. It's got little birds, trying to see where I'm at here, little birds in the border, which is unusual. And these wonderful, I don't know what they are, maybe honeysuckle flowers. I thought they were moths, but when you look at them, when I started diagramming them or charting them, I realized they're flowers because they're attached. But it's a lot of fun. It was I really enjoyed it. And hopefully it won't take too long for me to get this finished and ready to sell. But you can see they're pretty close to the same size. I guess that they aren't longer. I was thinking it was a little bit longer, but they're pretty close to the same size. Actually, I have this one upside down. Whoops. But it was fun. It was a little bit of a challenge, but not too bad because it is all cross stitching. There's no specialty stitches. A few of the letters were gone when I was charting it, but you can figure that out. And like I said, I had a really good time and I just used DMC floss. So I'm hoping I will be able to get this out on the Morning Glory Needleworks website. And of course, I will let you know as soon as I do. And I need to go find a frame for it. I was thinking about hem stitching it. Maybe I'll wrap the edges in ribbon like she did, pink. It's probably silk ribbon. But once I get it framed, I will be showing you the progress when it gets finished, and be sure to let you know when it's available on my website, on Etsy for purchase. So next, I want to talk about the EGA Online Class. I've talked about it before in FlossTube 27. I'm going to be teaching this Star Spangled Sampler as an online class through EGA. So it's posted on the EGA website, but you can't actually sign up till May 3rd. So they have it so you can, there's a button you can click and it will send you a reminder, hey, you need to sign up for this today. There's no limit because there's no kits. I'm going to be providing, I used a 28 count natural linen and sulky threads, 12 weight cotton threads. So what I'm going to provide is some substitutions. I'll give you the sulky colors. I will also give you maybe comparable DMCs. I don't know, maybe some other Weeks Dye Works or an overdye, because these are, if you can see, they're called blendables. See, it's kind of a little variegated colors. I did that to make it look more antique-y, you know, because the original sampler or the original flag, this is based on the original Star Spangled Banner, is in pretty rough shape. It's in the Smithsonian. I have a whole book on it. So, but if you want to stitch it on white the white, this may not show up as well on white or a different color linen. You could stitch it on whatever you want. You could use a bright red, a bright blue, you know, whatever you want to use. That's the nice thing, because there's no kits. I usually teach this as a 2-day class, but it's going to be online. You do need to be a member of EGA to take the class. So if there isn't a chapter near you, and a lot of the chapters meet during the day. So if you work, you can join as a member at large, which means you get the Needle Arts magazine and all the options to take all these classes. They have huge seminars, regional seminars. I've taught at some of those. Or what I belong to actually is Cyber Stitchers, which is an online group. It's all online. And we actually have online meetings. We have online classes. They do what they call the big educational event, BEE, every year. And that is, you can take, they offer a bunch of different group correspondence courses, and you get part of your fee for that paid. So anyway, that's how you can sign up for EGA if you're not already a member. I highly recommend them. I've been a member since the 80s, and I have learned so much. So for this class, again, registration opens on May 3rd. The first lesson, it will be 4 lessons, and it will be a sections of this with all the stitches, written instructions, detailed diagrams. There's 30 different stitches. Each band, each blue square is a different stitch, and each band is a different stitch. So there's 30 different stitches, and the first lesson will be posted August 2nd, 2023, and the next lessons will be posted August 16th, August 30th, and September 13th. So there'll be a new lesson every 2 weeks. And the lessons will include written instructions, videos. I'm hoping to get videos. I've not done them yet. You'll be able to download your videos. You'll be able to ask questions. There'll be like a chat group. You'll be able to post photos of your progress. You'll receive class emails. There'll be an online forum, and you'll be able to ask me questions, like I said. And the cost for the class is $50. And again, that doesn't include the kit, but that includes all the instruction that you can print out, all the instructions, the videos, everything else. So a supply list will be provided before the class starts. And I'm so excited about this class. This is my first foray into this type of teaching. And actually, EGA has just started recently in the last year or two doing this also, these online classes. So again, as with everything else, I provided a link to this to sign up for this class. And if you need more information from that link, there's also a menu at the top where you can find out how to join EGA. You can find a local chapter or Cyber Stitchers or any of those things, and just find out more about EGA. So that's that exciting news. Now on to, again, this one's going to be a little short and sweet. I've tried to cut back on them a little bit and make them a little bit shorter. So this one, I want to talk about an antique sampler. But first, I want to talk about, I have this design called Victorian Silhouettes. It's one of my most popular designs. It's monochromatic. It has each of these bands in between are specialty stitches. Now this is stitched over 1 on 32 count linen. You can stitch it on whatever size linen you prefer, or 14 count, that it's going to be really big, or you could stitch it over 2 threads, and again, it will be really big. And I stitched it on, this is called Copper Penny. It's an over-dyed fabric, which I have not been able to get recently. They've been having problems getting some of these over-dyed fabrics. But I wanted to tell you about, people are doing this in all sorts of colors. They're beautiful. They all turn out beautiful. This floss is also no longer available. This was, oh my God, what was Old Willow Stitchery? And she does not make the floss any longer, but it's like a pale over-dyed pink, like a white and barely pink. And it's much prettier in person than it is on the video. But I wanted to talk about during FlossTube 27, for my first goal of reaching 500 subscribers, I did a giveaway and I drew names, and the lucky winner was Diane McClure. And for winning, I gifted her $25 toward any Morning Glory Needleworks designs. And one of her choices was Victorian silhouettes. So what I want to do is show you a little bit more about Victorian silhouettes. So just hang on, and I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint and I can show you some of this up close and back. Okay, so here, I think you can see on the right is the finished piece. And actually, well, I'm going to talk about the original sampler because this is kind of a reproduction. But this section with the Morning Glories was one of the reasons that really drew me to this antique sampler that I bought. But you can kind of see the variation in the colors on that picture, the pale pink and the white, but and you can see it stitched over one thread, and then the bands in between, the decorative bands or specialty stitches, are stitched over two. So now this is Diane McClure's her interpretation of this, and I just love it. I love the colors. It's kind of the opposite. It's a dark, let me get a drink here. My throat's pretty dry. So she sent me a picture of this. She chose, this is 18 count Ada by Picture This Plus, and it's called Shadow. And it's beautiful fabric. And she's using Weeks Dye Works conch, and she's stitching one thread over one, or one strand over one square thread of the fabric. I just love this. It's like so different than my version, and I love it. I've seen people do it with two shades of blue, like a light blue for the fabric and a dark blue. But I just love to see how other people decide, or what their color choices are. I've seen a lot of different colors. One woman stitched it on a white linen with, or even weave with pink and green to match somebody's decor. But anyway, I love when you send me pictures. So please feel free to send me pictures of any of my designs that you're stitching. Well, now I want to show you the original sampler, the inspiration for Victorian silhouettes. Let me unwind this here because it's a long, 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 long sampler. This is it. And what I did was I took this edging and these bands and then made the sampler. You see the difference? I took the bands and from this and did them over one, and then added my own decorative stitches or specialty stitches. But what I'm thinking about doing is reproducing this. Here's the Morning Glory band. I bought this on eBay. Well, let me tell you, this sampler, this original sampler, this is 24 count, like a canvas, like a needlepoint canvas, and it's stitched in wool. The finished size, you ready? 6 inches wide, and it's 52 inches long. Isn't that fabulous? This is the bottom band on it. So you can see, I love the these edgings on here, the corners, and the woman's initials, or girl, whoever stitched it, her initials were MM. She stitched it in 1885, and these are needlepoint stitches. So I'm seriously thinking about reproducing this. I started to one time and then decided not to and went with the smaller version because most people weren't stitching big pieces. But now a lot of people are stitching big pieces, including me, or these long pieces. It's longer than I thought it was. I was thinking it was about 36 inches, but I just measured it and it's 52 inches long. Now I'll show you, it's backed or not backed. It's edge bound with, it's probably a silk ribbon and it's just stitched on there. Probably can't see it. There's larger stitches in the back and then just a tiny stitch on the front. So the stitches were not spaced evenly. And the back, I am not sure what this is. I'm hoping somebody can tell me. It's fabric. Maybe it's waxed. I don't know, but it's definitely fabric, but it's like paper. Maybe it's a polished cotton. Now that I'm looking at it, pull this up here. I don't want to rip it, but it does have, for some reason, she put, there's paper inside of it. Trying to get this around so you can, there we go. There's brown paper in here. And that's maybe why it feels like paper. Maybe this is just but it feels like it's not oiled, but it feels waxed or something, but it's a stiff on the back. It's shiny, obviously. But anyway, so I'm thinking I'm going to sit down and try and reproduce this. I'll probably use maybe a 28 count, an even weave or linen, and DMC floss. And I actually have I did some close-up pictures of it with, and I'll show you like I did with the other in PowerPoint, so you can see all the different stitches better. Like I said, they're actually like needlepoint or canvas stitches, counted canvas stitches. So let me bring that up and I will show you close-ups of this so you can see and let me know if you like it. Okay, now this is the entire sampler. I hung it from a hanger. You can see the clips, clothespins on top, but just so you can see how it looks when it's all stretched out. And like I said, it's huge. I'd have to figure out how big it would be on 28, but it would still probably be 48 inches long. But I think it would be a lot of fun. So what I've done, this is the whole sampler, and get this to work. There we go. So this is the first stitch block. And you can see these are kind of like a Bargello stitch or a flame. I really have to sit down and figure them out there. Like I said, it's all done in wool, and the border and the decorative bands in between are done in tent stitch. So that's block one. I really think this would be a lot of fun to stitch. And this looks like an oblong Smyrna or diamond shaped Smyrna stitch or something. That's the second block. You see they're very thick and dense because they're stitched with wool. I wonder if this would look nice in the sulky threads. I love sulky. You wouldn't get the same smooth effect like on these stitches. So I don't know. I may use floss. I'll probably just try a few stitches and see how it works. Stitch a few samples. So this is stitch block 4. Isn't that pretty? I just love this stitch. It's like a perspective stitch, you would call it. So, and it's nice shades of, I think it's lavender. It's like lavender and a pale pink. And I love this one. I love them all. Just really pretty. They're all just straight stitches. You just have to do them in the right order. And this is like 5 shades of green and white, kind of a teal. And this one's also interesting. Reminds me of a mosaic stitch with a, they almost look like hearts for each row. Looks like rows of hearts done in 3 shades of like a pinky tan color. or terracotta, maybe brick, I guess. And I love this one, with the 3 shades of purple, lavender colors. That's a fun looking stitch. So I just have to diagram all these out and practice them and see what's the best way to work them. And they look like upright, elongated Smyrna crosses also, but yet done like in a flame stitch pattern. And this is kind of like a leaf stitch in 4 shades of the teal green again. It just looks like it's going to be fun. This one I'm not sure about. This is kind of different. It's pretty intense. It just looks like I really have to dig into it and get my magnifier out, but it just looks like just rows of like tent stitches, but they get kind of crammed in there. So I don't know. I'm going to have to, I can't get to the back of it. I don't want to take it apart. It'd be easier if I could see the back to see. That would help me decide how the stitches were made. But I don't want to take the back. It's not like something I can unframe. I don't want to take it apart because I will never be able to get the silk ribbon back on there again. So, and this is the last block at the bottom. But this one, they look like, I don't know, big marshmallows maybe. But I just think it would be a lot of fun. So I'm going to start playing with this and see what I can figure out here. This is the bottom. This is a close up of the initials and the date. She actually has gold beads. They're metal, gold metal beads. I would assume they're just colored metal or brass. They may be brass beads on there, decorating her initials. And I think there, this is a close-up of the Morning Glory band. But you can kind of see that all this stitching is tent stitches. It's a half cross continental stitch. I'm not sure how she did it. I'm going to try, like I said, try and look at the back and see if it's tent and half cross are kind of the same. They're just, you know, a half a cross stitch, which will make it stitching that part quicker because you don't have to stitch 1/2 and then go back. Continental stitch or basket weave is another way of stitching this so it doesn't curl. And I'm not much of a needle pointer. I've done it, but I'm definitely not an expert on it. I do have a lot of books that can make me an expert, or I can find stuff out. So that's I'm so excited. I hope you guys like this as the sampler as much as I do. And please give me some comments. Let me know what you think about it. Okay, so we're back to me again. But let me know what you think of that. But anyway, that's it for FlossTube 32. As always, thank you to everybody who likes, subscribe. Like my brother Jim said, the more you like it, the more it gets put out there for other people to watch. And if you enjoy it, I'm hoping other people will enjoy my videos also. Subscribe to be notified when each video posts. I do always post on the 1st of the month, and that includes the 1st of the month. I always have a new stitch of the month. So if there's a stitch you're interested in learning, please let me know, and I may be able to add that in to the stitch of the month sampler we're all working on it. I hope you're doing the stitches. Don't forget to share photos. I have a Stitch of the Month Facebook group. So if you're working any of those stitches, even if you're not working the sampler, if you're just trying them or using them in another project, please share pictures. I love to see pictures. And if you're working on the Stitch a Day sampler, a stitch a day, there's 365 different stitches. That's available in my Etsy shop also. That's a fun one. There's a Stitch a Day Facebook group for that. Like I said, I also often talk about my antique needlework tools and other items. So if there's something you'd like to see, if I have it in my collection, I can pull it out and show it to you and talk about it. I have a lot of books on that. I can do some research on it. So again, all the links are posted in the description or the comments section. So just click on that and it will take you to everything I've talked about. I'm going to include the links for Jim's 2 floss tubes and his website. He's got some really cool clothes. I should have had him put on his the Airstreamer Life logo is really cool. Very mid-century modern retro vintage looking logo. And he's got some really cool, if you like camping, shirts and things that he's offering with different sayings and logos. And he posts some really cool stuff on Facebook. Beautiful pictures. Oh my. So the Airstreamer is also on Facebook, and he posts quotes and just his photography is phenomenal. So anyway, enough bragging about my brother. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you again on, what's today, the 15th. I will see you on the 1st of May. Holy cow, time is flying. So thanks for watching, and I will see you later.